Okie dokie. Very exciting. Our girl is dry. Now what we're going to do is we are going to brush the salt off. I would recommend brushing the salt onto something. Maybe a piece of cardboard, maybe a newspaper, maybe even a towel. So what I'm going to do is brush it onto an art mat. And then let's see what we have. Very exciting. Don't you love that sound? When you're doing these, I want you to remember that the reason for doing them is for pleasure, for processing, and all these sorts of tactile experiences should be enjoyed, not just done, you know? And if you want, you can even do it with your hands like this. And then you can feel that roughness. This would be very salty if I were to lick my hand right now. All right, let's lay her down and see what we've got. If you can notice, but when you do salt, you get this sort of salt, this nice sort of shiny, salty residue. So she's quite cool, this stage of her. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out where we're going next with her. We're not going to make any decisions on that right now. All we're going to do is sit with her for a little bit. And we're going to wait for some inspiration to hit. Now, some things are starting to come to me, but I'm not fully settled on them. And I'll tell you what's sort of starting to come to me. I think I want to re-establish some of those pencil lines using some maybe dark. I'm leaning towards a graphite stick, but I could see, I suppose, how a white acrylic marker could also work, but that's just a little bit maybe too rigid for what I want for this piece. Maybe a graphite stick, but also I love how this has turned out here. Even like how this has turned out. I love how that's turned out, right? That whole area up there I think is really spectacular, down here as well. All of this I like. I would say this I'm less a fan of. And it's quite nice that it's kind of concentrated. Ooh, you know what I'm spotting here? You see how this has sort of formed with these skin tones? It almost looks like cells, you know, with the nucleus in the middle. And I kind of really love this concept. I really love this concept of the human body being a collection of individual cells, just like our journey through life is a collection of individual moments, right? And when we have too many moments that stack on top of each other that are negative or depleting, we end up curling up into this fetal position, which goes back to our origin, doesn't it? Curled up in the fetal position inside our mother, in the safest place we've ever been. And yeah, of course, that's why we do this. Curling up in the fetal position, back in the womb, back in a safe place, needing somebody to look after us again, needing to be sustained. But I don't like how it's come out here. It's too bitty. Now, I don't know if you've had that same effect on yours, but on mine, that's how it's come out. So I think what I might end up doing is doing a light wash with a tempera paint or a very watered down white acrylic to emphasize this as the bed sheet, right? And then we'll still have this, but it will be laced underneath the bed sheet. I like how I can see these pencil lines here. I like how I can see those pencil lines there. It gives me the impression that we were drafted in the womb. And the creation doesn't necessarily align with the drafting, right? I quite like that. I'm not a huge fan of these red bits here. They just feel incongruent with the piece, and that yellow there feels really incongruent because I don't have anything else. I mean, the closest we have is here. So I will want to do something with those, but I just don't know what it is yet. So at this stage, what we do is we sit with our piece. We prop it up somewhere in the house and we mull on it for a little bit. And the conclusion that you come to with yours about where you want to go next with it might be different than the conclusion I come to that I want to go towards with mine. And that's completely fine. We're creating our own individual pieces here. The importance is that we're enjoying the process and that we are taking pleasure in the mindfulness of the activity. So let's sit with this stage of our creation for a few days, a week, a few weeks, don't know how busy your schedule is. And when you're ready, let's come back together again and we'll do the next phase. I would say if you don't have a white acrylic paint, you could pick up a white acrylic paint because probably that's going to factor into your next stage somehow. And if you don't have, let's say, a stick of charcoal or a stick of graphite or maybe a 6B pencil or a dark chalk pastel. Don't know that oil pastel is the right thing for this one. I think chalk pastels would work okay. Then you can maybe pick up one of those. I'm feeling like a graphite stick is going to be the best thing for this. But that's just what's emerging for me, for my colors, for my piece. You might be getting something completely different for yours. Okay, I look forward to the next time we meet to take this to the next stage.